natural world. To do this, we take just 90 seconds and present stories about the plants and animals around us. The facts are fun, the sound effects are neat, and the host ain't so bad either. Please join me for the 90-Second Naturalist.
Listen every weekday afternoon during the KSJE Evening News at 5:30.
Hi, I'm Don Glass.
And I'm Yael Cassander.
And we host A Moment of Science.
The world is always posing questions, and science is always in pursuit of answers.
A Moment of Science offers many of those answers in a timely moment of entertainment and enlightenment.
We hope you'll tune in.
For more information about A Moment of Science or to download our latest podcasts, visit us at amomentofscience.org.
Listen weekday afternoons at 5:45 on KSJE. This program is supported by San Juan Health Partners Urology, providing a wide range of personalized services for the whole family, including children. Our caring professionals are dedicated to helping meet your urology health needs with skill, experience, and service you need. For a complete listing of our services and to learn more, visit sanjuanhealthpartners.com or call 505-609-6300. San Juan Health Partners Urology, a division of San Juan Regional Medical Center. Ten minutes past 8 o'clock. Good morning, everybody. I'm Scott Bicklett. Thank you for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM. And 90.9 HD, the information and cultural beacon of the Four Corners, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week from San Juan College in Farmington, New Mexico. Special good morning to our viewers who are joining us live this morning on the KSJE Facebook page and YouTube channel. Welcome aboard, everybody. We're glad you're with us. Coming up in just a moment, my guest from the Farmington School District, Dr. Eugene Schmidt, Superintendent of Schools, will be here in just a moment, and some other guests joining us. We hope you'll stay tuned for that, coming up very, very shortly. Later on, during the 8 o'clock hour, we will take our weekly trip to the Encouragement Lab. Communications Professor Dr. Mike Haddabaugh will be joining us at 8:55 this morning. Dr. Haddabaugh giving us some good words of advice as the 2020 political season gets underway with the announcement by some candidates that they are in the race for the presidency. So listen for that coming up later on at 8:55. Then, of course, Roving with the Arts takes over KSJE at 9 a.m. this morning. Mick Hess is playing music from Gustav Mahler, Mahler's Symphony No. 1, and, of course, sharing some great arts news with us of events that are happening throughout the region. So we hope you'll stay tuned for that coming up this morning at 9 on KSJE. And then, of course, don't forget about Right on Four Corners, our local and regional author program with Tracy Hales-Vass. Today, Tracy is talking with author Carrie Lynn Dell, and she'll be talking with her at 10:30 today on KSJE, so we hope you'll tune in for that as well, or just stay tuned for that as well. Keep the dial right where it is at 90.9 FM, of course, or you can stream us at KSJE.com, or we hope you're watching our visual radio programs this morning until 9 a.m. on our KSJE Facebook page and YouTube channel. And of course, our website is also where you'll find our regional events calendar. We have lots of things that are going on that we like to share with you. And if you're part of a nonprofit organization and have some events going on, we invite you to add your event to our regional events calendar at KSJE.com. You can do that for free. A couple of things to point out. The internship fair happening here at San Juan College next week. Also an Astro Friday program at the planetarium here on February the 8th. Hope you'll come in for that. Also at the Farmington Museum later on this week is the Family Astronomy Night on February 2nd. A couple live performances of music happening in the area as well, so we want to let you know that you can check those out. They are on the same date, unfortunately, but a couple of options for some live performances here in the region. Kendra Lee and the Sean Arrington Blues Band both performing on February 2nd. So just some of the things you can check out on our regional events calendar, KSJE.com. Wednesday morning here on KSJE, and you're listening to the Scott Michlin Morning Program. Good morning once again to our listeners at 90.9 FM and to our viewers who are watching us live this morning on the KSJE Facebook page and YouTube channel. My guest in the studio this morning from the Farmington Municipal School District, Dr. Eugene Schmidt, is back with us for his regular visit. Dr. Schmidt, good morning.
Good morning, Scott, and good morning, Four Corners.
Thank you for being here. Your camera just went somewhere else, Dr. Schmidt. I apologize.
I'm thinking right out the window.
I don't know why it's doing that. So
there we are.
There you are.
Hi, Four Corners.
Sorry, we'll keep going. It's somewhat live radio. So anyway, thank you very much for being here. Also joining us this morning, Debbie Braff is here, former principal from Apache Elementary School. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Scott.
Thank you for being here. And you have that retired glow about you.
I do.
So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
I'm sure it's well deserved.
It is.
Good. Very good. And also joining us here in the studio is Dr. Virginia Hedges, who is the principal currently of Esperanza Elementary School. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good to have you here as well. Thank you.
It's good to be here.
Thanks for being here, all of you. And to begin with, we have a number of things on our list to talk about, and that would be some of the things that, Debbie Braff, you're now involved with through your work with the Rio del Sol Kiwanis Club, correct?
Correct.
Talk to me a little bit about that. What got you involved in Kiwanis?
As a principal in Farmington, the Rio del Sol Kiwanis Club did a lot of projects that benefited my students. They did the clothes for kids. They did coats for kids. They did a scholastic book fair, and they became involved and in charge of the Don't Meth With Us program. So when I did retire, I decided that I would join the Kiwanis because it helped me continue to focus on helping kids while being retired at the same time. So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. And so with that being said, there's a lot of programs that I'm familiar with, the Rio del Sol Kiwanis Club, that helps children not just at your old school of Apache, but schools throughout the county, really, don't they?
That's correct. The Don't Meth With Us program is done at all schools in the county to all fifth graders.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that has really made, I think, somewhat of an impact since it's been in play, really, because there are a lot of even high school kids who I think will say they remember when they were in that fifth grade and got that presentation. It's really helped them.
You're right. The last couple of years, Kiwanis has added an essay contest for seniors, and the recipients of those prizes they're actually college scholarships. And it's really, I've been able to judge on those every year, and it's really interesting to read. And it's amazing to think what they remember, 7 years later in great detail. They could, because I do the presentation, I know what a lot of the bullet points are. And the kids remember those bullet points. A lot of them still have their Don't Meth With Us t-shirts. And it's been an effective program. It started in 2006, and it's really made an impact on the number of kids that, when the kids that are incarcerated, back in the days, back in 2006 or prior, they did an intake with kids if they were being incarcerated, and I think there was like 39 juveniles had reported in 1 year that they used meth. And since the onset of this program, they still do those surveys, and it's zero.
Wow.
Yeah. And so the kids may be doing other things they shouldn't be, but they're not doing meth as much.
Right,
yeah.
Which is...
that was the point.
Remarkable, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the goal.
It is remarkable.
Of the program.
Mm-hmm.
And some folks may say, well, isn't fifth grade too young to expose kids to this information? But I see Dr. Hedges shaking your head because you know, probably, like you do too, that it's probably not too young.
I think it was in 2005, there was a large convening here in town. It was a 3-day conference on meth, the impact of meth, the hospitals, the jails, the court systems, employers, the schools, and it was shocking to a lot of the people that went there. So Paul McQuarrie felt like we need to do something, and he's the one that said, we need to get to these kids before they start meth, because meth is so addictive. Right. And so he's the one that decided that it should be fifth graders.
Let me talk to Dr. Hedges a little bit about that too, because if you're at your school and with your students, I mean, they're exposed to all kinds of things. I can only imagine right. At that age, or even younger, I suppose, too. So fifth grade isn't too young.
No, fifth grade isn't too young. We get a lot of paraphernalia from home at very young ages, even as low as second grade.
Right.
So to have some information about this is very important. They come to our school every year. And every year I welcome them because I see that the kids want to learn more. They are engaged with it, and she's absolutely right. They love the shirts, they love the pencils, and then I've had a lot of them that have even won from the essays and have gone to the Marriott and presented to our community, and
Right.
they love that. I mean, the presentations that they come up with are so innovative, and they are able to write from essays to videos to any kind of platform that will share their information, and I think that that in itself is a great way to share with kids because it really impacts them at the visual level.
Right. And even in 5th grade or even younger, these kids are facing a lot of important decisions to make when it comes to lots of different things, whether it's just what to study in school to do I get involved with drugs or other stuff, right?
Right, and they're making that transition into middle school, so
Right.
it's important.
Very much so. And so with that being said, talk to me a little bit about, Debbie Braff, about this program because it's expanded from just San Juan County to other communities, and it started here. Did it not?
It did start here, and it started specifically in Farmington schools. And it's now, I want to say it's on 4 continents, and I couldn't quote you how many states, but a lot of states.
I know Paul McCreary could tell us
Yeah,
exactly
he could,
how
and
far it's gone.
I was tempted to call him last night to get those statistics, but he could come on and give them.
Of course.
They originally started with Rotary and Rotary International. They did presentations, and so those clubs have picked it up, and now Kiwanis, it's been presented at Kiwanis and Kiwanis International. And so basically service clubs and communities are picking this up, and it's had a wide impact. And I want to say it was last year he was contacted by somebody from Africa, and I don't remember which country, and they had a horrible meth problem, and they wanted to start that themselves.
Interesting. Dr. Schmidt, let me bring you into the conversation a little bit, too, about this, because anytime some community group wants to take time away from classroom instruction to come into schools and take some of that precious time, it's got to be an important thing, and it's a big decision, I guess, to decide to let other groups in to talk about some of these other things. You can't welcome everybody in.
Yes, and so let me begin by saying that community partnerships are a very powerful thing, and we welcome community partnerships when groups like Kiwanis will literally present. I think Dr. Edges gave your kids over 500 books as a first book for every kid in your school. They gave you an extra 3,000 to buy instructional materials or books for the future. So I'm going to have you come back and talk about that in a few minutes. But Scott, to your question, yes, we are very much interested in partnering with the community, some of which we will invite into the school. And sometimes it's simple as a flyer on the wall or something that goes home in a child's backpack. But there are events and educational partnerships important enough, like Don't Meth With Us, that we want to make sure that kids have a good start on their future. And in being aware of the dangers of drugs, and in this case especially meth, gives our kids a strong foundation. You know, the old program of just say no.
Right.
But it gives our kids an opportunity to explain why. No, I don't want to do this. I'm not going to get involved. And I will say, Scott, there are times when kids help their family members through a crisis involving choices that are being made by the family. So we're very appreciative, and we welcome in groups that have ways or strategies to help us be better, because as you're aware, a safe school is our number 3 pillar of success. And so we want to make sure that kids are respectful, but also that kids are safe at school.
Sure.
And kids who are also safe at home are ready to learn at school. So we welcome this as we do the books and things. And so to Debbie's and the Pauls and the Jill McQuarries, and I know that there are many other people that are actively engaged in coming into our schools to help our kids be better citizens, is much appreciated.
Right. And with a program like this, I would assume, that has a track record of success and some data that you can point to, makes it even an easier decision maybe to make time in your school day for them.
Yes, and so I will respond by saying I have also had the opportunity to read these scholarship applications over the last several years, and I will share that the stories are really compelling. You know, you think back to 5th grade and something in a one-day event that impacts their lives for the next 12 years is a very positive, powerful moment. And so the stories that these kids share, especially about their own lives and how the impact of this is seen through friends and family, become very, very compelling stories as to why this work is so important.
Right. Very good. You mentioned the book program, and so I want to talk a little bit about that as well. And so, Dr. Hedges, is this something that they bring into your school at Esperanza?
Yes, we're so excited when they called us in the fall and we set up this whole event, and they came in on January 16th, and one class at a time, grade level at a time, they came in and they were able to choose a book, and we took lots of pictures, so you should have seen all the smiles, and you still see the smiles as they walk through the halls and they're telling me, I still have my book, or
Right.
I just finished my book, but I'm going to read it again. Awesome. Really, it's important that these students understand that love of reading.
Right. And this is a book that they can, again, take with them,
home.
keep with them, read it over and over again, read it to their siblings perhaps, share it with them, and
That's what we
lots
encourage
of
them.
pass along readership, I suppose, right?
Right, right. And hopefully in the future it'll lead into, we have our APTT meetings, which is our parent teams that we work with our parents.
Clothes for kids, and I'm sure this happened with Dr. Hedges as well. The kids come in to your office, or they stop you in the hall and say, look, I've got new shoes, or look, I've got a new jacket, or whatever. And parents are quite grateful. The children that are chosen to do that are done, usually through teacher recommendation and the counselor. And Kiwanis, they say 10 per school, but they're a great deal more generous with the schools that are higher poverty. Sometimes we've had as many as 20 or 30 kids that get $100 each worth of clothes. And also, when you talk about community partnerships,
Right.
lots of groups come in and they shop with the kids. They do the shopping
That's right.
with the kids. So we've had the Marines, we've had the police and the fire department, we've had various companies that send their employees. And in the last couple of years, we've also had student groups like the National Honor Societies at the high school and the Key Clubs. And so it's a community event. It really is.
Sure. And for a lot of these kids, and sometimes it's maybe hard for other folks to understand, the children who are in a poverty home or a home that maybe isn't as well-to-do as some others, but maybe they've never had a new pair of shoes. It's always been hand-me-down from the big brother or the big sister, or a new shirt or a new pair of pants to wear. So buying things new from the store is a big deal.
It is, and Kiwanis added a Shoes for Kids event as well that worked through the Boys and Girls Clubs, and so there were additional families that were able to do that. Or if you got to do coats for kids and shoes for kids, then when you got your clothes at Target, you didn't have to buy shoes because that was coming in another venue. Same with the coats for kids. So when I did some shopping one time with a couple of my students, and they had to get coats and shoes and that. And so now, if they're able to do all three of those things, they can concentrate on just the clothes.
Right. So it really stretches the dollars in those
really
other
does
programs
stretch.
further.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is what you're talking about. And again, we do know that we have a lot of families in our community that are less affluent than others, and that really could take advantage of these programs, and do, thanks to the schools. So it's really the schools that help identify which children are in most need.
Right, and they also this is extended to Aztec, Kirtland, and Bloomfield as well.
Okay. I'm not surprised, but that's important as well. Let me continue our conversation here this morning with my guests from the Farmington School District and the Rio del Sol Kiwanis Club. Again, we talked about the Don't Meth With Us program that, again, goes out to all fifth graders in the county every year.
Every February.
Every February. So we're just getting ready to ramp it up then.
Right.
Next month. And so the numbers would be about how many? 2,200 fifth graders is what we have here on our screen?
That would be right. There are 15 schools, elementary schools. That would be 10 from Farmington, and then Bloomfield, Aztec, and Kirtland. Then also on the other part of Central Consolidated, there's another team that does Don't Meth With Us for the Central Consolidated schools, other than Kirtland.
Got you. So that includes the whole, so that's how you can cover the whole county, pretty much, is what we're talking about here. So another great program. So congratulations again to everybody. Also on our list to talk about this morning, this program, and let me talk to you, Dr. Hedges, about your students. I mean, how does it help them, again, in the schools, whether it's learning about drugs and the decisions that they need to be making as they get older, and then helping them, again, with some of these clothes and shoes and things that every kid needs to be able to concentrate on their schoolwork.
Right. It's a big surprise to them, and they really embrace, and they feel wanted, they feel accepted, they feel like, oh, somebody does care about me, and the community, we can share that there are people out there that they can reach out to and that are looking out for them. And so I think that it does impact them even in a higher level that they don't even realize.
And a lot of folks, and myself included, were trying to think back to when we were in elementary school, and it's been a number of years for some of us, but kids today it seems to me, have a lot more going on, a lot more distractions, a lot more things tugging at them, pulling at them, that can distract them from just learning what they need to be learning in school.
Right, and exactly, you know, we see students coming to school with raggedy shoes and shorts because they don't have pants, or without a jacket outside. And you know, we take a look at our population lots of times in the morning, and we'll say, okay, there's a lot of kids out there that don't have a jacket. We need to have an indoor recess today, because and today was one of those days where the teacher called up and said, you know, there's a lot of kids out here that are cold, they don't have jackets, bring them in.
Right, and you just have to, that's a decision you have to make in that moment.
Right.
To whatever the details are, I suppose.
Right.
And Debbie Braff, again, to have organizations like Rio del Sol Kiwanis and the other agencies you mentioned about shopping with the kids and taking them out shopping and being able to provide for these children in our community is really important, I think, to be able to offer them this.
It is really important, and for those of us that have been in the schools, we're aware of what the situation is for a lot of kids.
I imagine we'd be shocked, those of us that aren't in the schools, to see kids arriving for school day with maybe no lunch, no pants, shorts, and no jacket, things like that.
Right, and so because there's such a community involvement in this project, I think it's eye-opening for a lot of the people that volunteer, and it's also they're very grateful for the opportunity to do that, because you know, oftentimes you have a lot and you don't realize how much you have until you're helping somebody who has a lot less. Right,
and see how fortunate you are in your own circumstances when you can see somebody else. That's very true. Well, I know a lot of the collection times for Rio del Sol Kiwanis for the clothes for kids and the coats for kids and the shoes happens in the fall, and then we see the benefits of that here in the winter time. So that's what we're seeing right now.
Absolutely. And you know, and those programs, all these programs are supported through, again, through fundraising or community donations. And with the situation with the oil field and some of the companies leaving, that's going to impact, I think, Clothes for Kids. We're looking for additional, you know, donations next year, financial donations, to help keep the program at the level that it's been for the last couple of years. We've lost a couple of big donors.
Okay, good to know. Dr. Schmidt, you wanted to add something to that?
Yes, I was going to
well?
say that you've actually been involved in helping to raise funds for Kiwanis, leading to Coats for Kids, because you're a Dining for the Dead guy.
I am. Well, yes, I am. I've never heard it put that way, but yes, I am a Dining for the Dead guy. That's right. But yeah, so are you, Dr. Schmidt.
Well, you're much better at it.
I don't know about that, but that is an annual event that we all do in September to raise money for the Kiwanis Club, and these are the charities that we're talking about that benefit from that. So, good point. Thank you for making that. Well, thank you all very much for coming in to talk about this morning, both of you, and all the work that you've done with our children in our community. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you, Scott.
It was a pleasure.
You're very welcome. We're going to take a short break, everyone. When I come back, Dr. Schmidt and I will talk more about some issues facing Farmington schools. Back with more in just a moment right here on KSJE. This program on KSJE is supported by Citizens Trust and Investment Corporation, providing a competent, innovative, and caring team of professionals to serve wealth management, trust administration, employee benefit plans, retirement planning, and estate settlement needs. Find out more about Citizens Trust and Investment Corporation at